Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and I have to build all this Lego in 3 days. Let's rewind for a second. I've been traveling for a while, and I haven't gotten a chance to be home in my Lego collection until now. Over that time, a lot of online Lego orders have really started to pile up, most of which are my January 1st Lego purchases. You see, back in December, LEGO sent me a few of the brand new January set releases for me to review. This included LEGO Dreams, LEGO City, Ninjago, Monkey Kid, the Modular Building, the LEGO Blacktron set, collectible minifigures, the Lunar New Year sets, and LEGO Star Wars. Outside of those releases, they didn't send me anything else. So all of the other sets, from superheroes to Jurassic World, to Friends, to Technic, to Animal Crossing, to Sonic, and everything in between, I had to purchase on January 1st to make a video of on my channel. And so I set off and gathered a gigantic haul of January 1st LEGO sets, which all came in while I was out of town. Well, now I'm back, but only for a couple of days. So here's the thing, I am going to challenge myself to build every single one of the brand new January 1st sets that I just got right now in the span of 2 days and showcase all of them in this video. And if this video sees the light of day, well, that means I succeeded. If it doesn't, well, you're not going to be watching this footage. So here's the deal. I have received a ton of brand new January sets. Outside of the main themes that I received back in December, I also am going to be reviewing all of the LEGO Friends sets for January 2025 in one video. So I'm not counting them for this video because I'm already going to be doing a video on those. I also will be doing a video on the multiple copies of the Blacktron ship that I purchased, showcasing different configurations that you can build with it and the alternate model, so I'm not going to build that for this challenge. Otherwise, everything else is fair game in this gigantic LEGO haul, and there is a lot to get into. So first, before I start building, let's take an overview of the haul. Okay, so let's take a look at the January 1st haul that I have to build in 3 days. This is almost every other LEGO set that released on January 1st, aside from the ones I already mentioned in the video, minus all of the LEGO Friends sets, which I am going to be reviewing, so I set those aside for later, and some of the larger LEGO Super Mario sets, which I also will be doing a video on, so definitely stay tuned for those. Other than those, which I've set aside, this is everything else I got in my main hauls, and there's a lot to cover here. So we're gonna go quickly set by set here, starting off with the Marvel and superhero sets. We have the Captain America Civil War battle, which comes with a ton of minifigures that is honestly a little bit mixed. Like Bucky doesn't have arm printing, Spider-Man does have arm printing, but doesn't have the leg printing, and then you have like a lot of reused details for some of the minifigures, and the Winter Soldier is actually utilizing his Captain America 2 outfit instead of Civil War, so that's a bit of a strange set. I'll share more thoughts on it later. We have the large Marvel logo, which is proven to be another controversial set for the Marvel lineup, especially because of how expensive it is at $100, and because the logo itself isn't really that large, but it does come with all of the main Avengers except for Hawkeye. Then we have some fun comics-based sets like the Iron Man car and Black Panther versus Red Hulk. I really love the Red Hulk minifigure, how he's actually wearing the sunglasses from the comics, and then we have a Venom muscle car as well, which looks like it might be more akin to like a Ghost Rider car, but you know, it's still a nice enough build. One of my favorite new superhero set lineups here are the new mechs, which features Iron Man vs. Ultron and Spider-Man vs. Anti-Venom, Ultron appearing in a full comic-styled outfit, and Anti-Venom coming for the first time. We also have a series of Spidey and his Amazing Friends sets, which actually depict some of the main superheroes as dinosaurs, sporting brand new molds, some of which I'm sure are going to be reused in the Jurassic World franchise, like this brand new mold of Gwen Stacy as a Pteranodon or Pterodactyl that honestly reminds me a lot of the vintage LEGO Adventurers mold, which is super cool. Of course, it seems like they are going to the Savage Land or something like it for the Spidey and His Amazing Friends show, so all the sets are based on that. And then we have our very first Across the Spider-Verse set, which I am so excited to see more of, featuring Miles, Gwen, Officer Jefferson, and The Spot. It is a long time coming, and I am so glad we are finally getting Spider-Verse LEGO items. Moving on to DC, we have the Batman Tumbler versus Two-Face and the Joker based off of the Dark Knight trilogy, which is honestly a little disappointing compared to the previous one from 2021. It's just a lot smaller and the shaping isn't even as good as the original one, but that Two-Face minifigure is really cool, and we also get a special comics and promotional artwork styled Mr. Freeze in this 4+ set, which is also really nice, but again, I'm really hoping DC will branch out from just Batman. They did, however, as I'm saying that, come out with a Superman versus Lex Luthor mech, and that Lex Luthor minifigure is so cool. It's also good to get an upgraded Superman. Would have been nice to get leg printing, but I'm sure maybe they're saving that for hopefully a larger set. Moving onwards to Harry Potter, we have a number of sets from all the different movies. Malfoy Manor is based off of the later movies and actually is the very first time we have gotten this location depicted in LEGO form, so that's a really interesting one to get. Another fascinating Harry Potter set is this micro-scale Diagon Alley. It's kind of like at the same scale as those mini modulars from the Ninjago movie, but this is even more special because each of the mini modulars has a fully detailed interior, and it also is kind of modular within itself, which is super interesting. Of course, next up we have a Hogwarts Castle flying lesson set, which actually wraps around to be a full-on tower, which is meant to be compatible with this new system of the modular LEGO Hogwarts buildings, and it's cool to see them continue to extend the system in that manner. Moving on from that, we have a number of other LEGO Harry Potter sets meant to extend this modular system, such as the Dueling Club, which does actually fit within the larger Great Hall set. You can literally replace the dining table with this, and it has a fun play function as well, where you can have two people kind of push the sides of it and see who's going to pop outwards of the set. Next up, we have the Charms class here. Again, another fold-up classroom that does fit within the smaller base areas of the larger Great Hall set. So again, they're continuing to come out with these modular sets. And then we have the pretty controversial Hagrid and Harry's motorcycle ride. It's kind of like a large-scale sculpture, and it's a little uncanny to me to see just like the Harry Potter glasses printed on the Optimus Prime faceplate, but you know, I guess it kind of works for what they're trying to do. For the LEGO Botanicals theme, which is its own official new theme this year, we get two new sets continuing with this same style of the lucky Chinese flowers, where you can see they kind of continue that set there. And then we also have a third set, the Pretty Pink Flower Bouquet, which is again another large assortment of flowers, which just looks really, really nice on display. And that was one of the ones I was super excited to build. Despite being sent a copy of the Blacktron Renegade, I purchased 3 more so I can create my own gigantic motherships out of them, and of course build the alternate models as well, and stay tuned for a future video on that. I got the Fountain Garden, which I got a chance to see very early back in September for Fan Media Days, which is a fully modular garden where you can swap around all the different trees and move the different sections. And I also got the LEGO Art Love statue, which has a special place in my heart because I went to school at UPenn and we had one of these statues literally on campus that I saw every day while walking to class. So that was really nice. And as part of one of my pre-orders, I also got this winter Nutcracker scene, which is a really nice one too. Again, with LEGO Icons, we have the Leonardo da Vinci's flying machine, which does fully work with all the functionality. Very nice to see that, and a minifigure of the man himself. We get some brickheads of Tom and Jerry, cool to see that as a license for LEGO, and some Valentine bears too. For the Jurassic World lineup, we have some pretty interesting non-minifigure scale sets. Little Edie is the baby T-Rex on the same scale as the previous baby dinosaurs, and then we have another continuation of the dinosaur fossils, this one being the Triceratops skull, which is super cool, and I feel like that's something they can just keep on putting out more sets on. Legendary LEGO set designer Aaron has put out the Medieval Dragon, which is meant to be an upscaled version of the classic LEGO Castle Dragon with the green and the red wings, and we also have a number of other Creator 3-in-1 sets like the cat, the typewriter, we have a bunny which looks really adorable, I just love the way the bunny looks there, as well as a race plane which looks to be like a pretty slick build, and the panda family, including a baby and mama panda. We also have a space robot continuing the LEGO space branding, interesting to see that there, and alongside that we have a surprising spider, the smallest of them all, but featuring a really cool function where you can actually deploy the string from the back of the spider. I do have some, but not all, of the Super Mario and Mario Kart sets here, from the standard kart to the Donkey Kong one, and even the Baby Mario and Baby Luigi ones. Again, as I mentioned, some of the larger Super Mario sets I will be getting for a video, so stay tuned for that if I actually manage to put that video out. So I've separated those off from the main collection, and I also picked up the Yoshi bike, which I actually built before filming this video, just because I just couldn't wait to see how those actually played in hand, and it was really cool being able to put that one together. They actually offer a lot of fun play potential, and I like them a lot more than the standard Mario sets. Speaking of video game sets, we also have the Sonic the Hedgehog sets, finally delving into the video game stuff like the Bio Lizard, the true ultimate life form. We have the Cyclone versus Metal Sonic, which is a really cool minifig to get, and then the Campfire Clash, which honestly is probably like the least interesting one out of all of these, but is a good introduction to the theme. Continuing with the gaming focus here, we have LEGO Minecraft, a battle pack of swords for the Illagers, which is super cool. It's awesome to be able to army build those, and the skin is really cool as well, like a creeper style of skin. We also have the Nether Lava Battle, again another one that you can really army build, and then just a number of other really cute sets like the Baby Pig House. We have a more realistic set with the Armadillo Mine Expedition. Very cool to get the armadillos, those are really, really nice. And then we have the Mushroom House, which is just a large-scale build for the mushrooms, and one that I think is pretty nice to add on to these large-scale animals. Of course, after purchasing all of those, I got a ton of GWPs, and we'll take a look at those in a second, but again, with the video game stuff, we have a ton of new Animal Crossing sets, which feature some phenomenal minifigures. Those are very, very collectible, but my favorite is actually the smallest one, the Stargazing set, which features a brick-built moon and Celeste the Owl, which is a really nice minifigure with printed arms. LEGO Technic also has a ton of sets here, but before we move on to that, we have the Lucky Cat, which is another one of these Spring Festival sets, which I wasn't sent early, and again, I was sent a ton of GWPs alongside these sets, and I'm kind of curious just how many I got. You know, let's just count them right now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of the Lunar New Year GWPs, which is insane how I was able to rack those up as gift with purchases. For LEGO Technic, we round things out with the Monster Jam Thunderosaurus pullback car, as well as the Gigatron race car, continuing the Monster Jam series of trucks, and I also got the Bush Plane, which is actually a really cool one with some interesting features to show the engine pistons moving as you move the plane around. And then finally, the set I was most looking forward to from Technic was the Deep Sea Research Submarine, which is a really interesting set because it's been a while since we've gotten a submarine from Technic. In fact, the last one we got was all the way back in like the vintage days of Technic, so this is a super cool and a movable set to get. Overall, this is the January 1st haul, again minus LEGO Friends, which I will be doing a video on, and then some of the Super Mario sets, and of course minus what I've already got already. But now it's time for the ultimate challenge. Will I be able to build these in 3 days during work meetings? We'll find out right now, because this is gonna be a crazy task to accomplish. So that was a pretty crazy haul, but here's the thing. I now have 2 days to build all of it. Every single set that you just saw in that video, obviously not the duplicate copies of the GWP, but every single standard retail set I'll be building, so wish me luck. I'm gonna try to go theme by theme. I'm gonna make like the Marvel ones first, and then I'll do the DC ones, and then maybe I'll move over to like Harry Potter, and then Jurassic, and then Sonic looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun, and kind of go down the line from there, just to kind of give myself some mental congruency when building these, then like move on to Minecraft and so on and so forth. But there's gonna be a lot of sets, and the other thing is that these aren't just 2 like straight days of building. This is not a weekend. I will be working. I have back-to-back work calls starting at like 7 a.m. I often work until midnight or past midnight, so all of this building is going to be at the same exact time that I'm working, more or less, unless there's a call I really have to focus on. So wish me luck, and let's get building. Okay, so this turned out to be a much crazier task than I thought. I wish I got more footage of building, but I literally was just building so fast, I did not even get a chance to record anything. That's a giant pile of spare parts, and the pile of minifigs that's going on my wall behind it, and here is the massive pile of boxes. This clip was filmed at like 5 a.m., and I barely managed to finish this. I think I wrapped up building everything at like 6 a.m. on the final day, and I'm very grateful to all of the friends and family who actually gave me calls and kept me company on voice while I was putting these together because this was absolutely insane to try and pull off. But I actually did it. There were moments where I was like, will people notice if I just don't build some of the sets? But I was like, yeah, I think people are gonna notice, so I managed to build everything, and yes, that includes the Creator Polybag GWP, which I didn't even call out on the previous haul video. So first off, I have all the minifigures here. Since this was filmed at approximately 6:13 a.m. in the morning, and I had a car ride out at 7 a.m. the next day, I didn't even have time to stand up all the minifigures or even bring them down to my LEGO collection. Yes, this is just in my staging area right now, so this video is maybe a little bit more bootleg than it normally would be, but I do want to call out some of my favorite minifigures here. Like Super Shadow is such a cool minifigure with dual molded legs and printing on the side of the arms. That is such a cool figure to get and very relevant, especially coming out of Sonic 3. Good to get some new versions of Iron Man, and I really love getting a first Avenger version of Captain America. These superhero dinosaurs are actually really cool, and I can see them using some of the components for Jurassic World. Anti-Venom is awesome to get as a figure, but my favorite mech minifigure is Ultron, finally getting a really good comics accurate version of Ultron, which hopefully bodes well to getting a new version of the MCU Ultron maybe later this year. Lex Luthor is also really cool, featuring a recolor for the armor. We previously got the transparent opalescent satin sparkly green armor, but now we just get regular transparent green armor. It's a subtle change, but one that I think works a lot better for Lex. Winter Soldier is a bit disappointing because they didn't print the arm. Clearly that was just a budget issue, and I don't know what is going on with Marvel and the budget issues, but Two-Face from the DC lineup for The Dark Knight is super cool, and I love how it includes a spare coin in case you lose one of his coins, featuring an exclusive print with the scratches on it. Moving over to the sets here, I just want to very quickly call out the sets because, again, I already did call them out in the haul, but here's what they look like built. The Diagon Alley build is actually surprisingly one of my favorites of the entire lineup. It is remarkably detailed, and it's arguably even more detailed on the backside than it is the front because every single store has a full interior, as I mentioned, and it is absolutely insane the level of detail they were able to factor into this build. Every single building has a detailed room that actually corresponds to what you could see in the movies, and even what you can't see in the movies. It's just really well done. Of course, we have our lineup of creator sets and Animal Crossing here. I actually built every set for each theme in a row so I would have a cohesive building experience, which was a little less fun for Technic because my fingers started to get sore by putting pins in after building like 4 of these in a row, but the submarine definitely did live up to the hype. I love how you can actually move the propellers back and forth. And you also have this function where you can twist a gear to bend the claw arm backwards and forwards, which is really nice. Just being able to do that, obviously a little bit trickier to operate with like one hand, but you can see the arm extending out like that. It is very satisfying to swing that up. And of course, you can have the claw open and close to clamp this little piece of, I don't know, underwater like cargo or something that you want to be able to pick up and grab. It's just a really nicely built model, and I'm a big fan of how they were able to pull off the submarine. The sand blue and yellow color scheme is super cool as well. Of course, you have the pullback cars over there. The bush plane is also one that was really cool to put together because one thing that did surprise me is that you do have those engine pistons turning as you move the propeller. So as you actually push a lever to cause the propeller to spin up, the engine pistons will actually move in and out. Thanks to a new piece they introduced, I believe just last year was the first time I saw it, which is super cool to see. Of course, there are even more creator sets over there. The Lucky Cat as well, kind of sneaking in, which is just such a cute build. We have the Malfoy Manor, which is a very skinny build. It's kind of more of like a facade, but I really like the way this was built. There's a full interior and an Easter egg underneath the table that I'm not going to spoil for folks who haven't built it. The Hogwarts Tower is there. One of my favorite builds here is the Medieval Dragon, how you can actually position each and every one of the wings, which is just such a cool function. Aaron Brick Designer, who you can check out on Instagram, absolutely killed it once again, putting out just legendary set after legendary set in a row. I cannot wait to see what he does next because every single one of his sets have been so good. And then we get to the Jurassic stuff with the little baby T-Rex, the Triceratops skeleton. We've got the Brickheads, more Harry Potter stuff here with some nice prints on the Dueling Club. And then you have that fold-out classroom there, which folds up into a rectangle so you can slide it into Hogwarts. Over here, we have some of the Minecraft sets, some of the Lego Super Mario stuff, Sonic, and then finally we move on to Marvel. I did start off with Marvel, so they're the most tucked in here because I was the most excited for it, even though the Civil War battle set is, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, not super exciting compared to especially what we've gotten in the past, even with that buildable Ant-Man figure. I just miss having the large-scale minifigure build. Leonardo da Vinci's flying machine, though, is really satisfying to have the wings flap. It is really cool to be able to pull the trigger here and just see those actual kind of cloth-like elements flap back and forth. I just love the way this was built, and I feel like this is going to be a surprise hit for a lot of people who maybe haven't built a set like it before. The botanicals, as usual, look absolutely beautiful on display. I can't wait to put all 4 of them together on display downstairs in my Lego collection. And over here we have the Spider-Verse set, which looks to be a start of a brand new series of superhero modular buildings. Mini modulars, similar to the Creator Expert ones that we got a few years back, and I'm very curious to see how those go. Of course, you have the tumblers, some more of the Sonic sets back here, all the different mechs. We've got the Bio Lizard over here, and then some of the final botanical sets, and even the Marvel logo, which I will admit looks really good on display, but is it worth $100? I don't know. I think it was a little over-engineered. I don't know if we needed the feature of the minifigures bursting out of it, and I feel like they would have been able to sell it for a lot cheaper if they decided not to have that feature. Moving onwards, we have the 4+ Spidey and His Amazing Friends sets, the beautiful Love statue, which is one of my favorite sets that I picked up. It just looks so good on display. We have that somewhat freakish Lego Harry Potter and Hagrid set, which I think they did the best they could given the prompt. The beautiful botanical garden here, which is just really nice to see. And then finally, rounding things up with the flower bouquet over here. I have a lot of Lego sets to put down in my collection and to actually put in storage, but this was a really fun building exercise. By like 3 a.m. I was ready to tap out, but thankfully being on call with friends really motivated me to see this project through. And with that, my challenge is complete, building my entire January 1st Lego haul in just 3 days. What other challenges will I do next? And maybe next time, do you want me to live stream something like this? Do let me know. Thank you so much for tuning into Duckbricks, and be sure to like and subscribe for even more Lego news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this absolutely insane video where I sped built all of these sets in just a few days. That's all, and bye for now.